Hey, did you ever wonder why these little guys right here are so doggone effective? The plastic worm? Well, it's the multitude of ways you can fish them. You can Carolina rig them, you can Texas rig them, you can float them, you can swim them, you can fish them weightless, you can drop shot them, you can fish them on a lead head. And another way, and we're going to show you how to do that in the next little bit, and it's a highly productive way. It's called split shotting. Split shotting consists of a worm, grub, lizard, tube, or creature bait hooked to a small size, lightweight hook, and a split shot crimp to the line anywhere from 8 to 24 inches above the hook. What makes it so effective is the weight, or the split shot, and its position up the line from the lure. Now what this does, it gives the lure, or the worm, trailing behind, a different, almost helpless look. Now the bass, what they do, they find it extremely appealing, and it's a type of rig that you can cover lots of water with. And with that said, tell you what, let's do. Let's go and get it wet, okay? It's important to remember that the ideal presentation is to maintain constant bottom contact with this rig while cranking at a slow, steady stop-and-go pace. Surprisingly, this outfit more closely resembles slow crankbait fishing than it does plastic bait fishing. And speaking of plastic baits, let me show you what we're using today. It's nothing more than a split shot with a separation of about 14 inches all the way down to a hook and a 6.5 inch Bass Pro Shop finique worm. That's all it is. And this system is called split shotting, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Contrary to what some may believe, the split shot bait does not float very far off of the bottom. At best, the bait moves within inches of the lake floor, while the tail action of the lure creates a swimming motion resembling something very much alive. The purpose is not to challenge a bass to strike, but to literally force feed a shy and unaggressive fish. That's a better one. I feel weight there. Oh yeah, good one. Felt a lot bigger than that. Nice little fish though. Look at that pole, take it. Did you see how quick I hit that fish? And he swallowed it. See, he's got it all the way down. See that hook? It's all the way down. What I'm gonna do is go right in there and catch the throat of it and just pop it out just like that. Something else that's important when using lightweight line, it's best to use a soft shot versus a hard one. Hard shots require quite a bit of force for a snug fit. This can flatten or crimp your line seriously, reducing the breaking strength at that point. But if you have to use a hard one, kind of be careful in the way that you mash it. Some fishermen simply do not understand how important split shotting can be. They may think it's too slow, it's difficult to feel, hard to cast, or that it only catches small fish. Naturally, these are all misconceptions. This method is highly productive for locating concentrations of stubborn bass, as well as intercepting stragglers, especially stragglers. It's equally effective for catching bass in used or heavily fished waters. Anglers that split shot are not fishing for the same bass everyone else is. It's also highly effective during weather or water changes when bass become very inactive. Right there, followed it out. Whoa, man. Jumped all the way on the backside of the boat. That fish can pull that hard and strip and drag too. Oh, that's a tough fish. I want to tell you something, that one right there was one strong dude. There we go. Woo! That's a strong little old fish right there, boy. Yes, you were. Get all that junk out of your face. You know, there's absolutely no question just how effective this complete rig is. But, like most things, it does have a few disadvantages. One is that your casting accuracy when using it might not be as good as you might prefer. This simply means it's not really the best rig for casting at specific targets. But this is no big deal because actually you're really not always going to be fishing specific targets with it. You're looking for cruising bass that might be anywhere. And that's what this whole thing is all about. And that's what you're trying to do with it. You're just trying to, you know, attract those cruising bass that are just here and there. But today, in the last little while, I have found that a high percentage of these fish have selected these little points and outcroppings of spatterdock. I'm catching quite a few on those. Whoa. Ooh, strong. Get out of the pads. I like that worm. Fish this way. Yeah, you gonna. Ow. That a big chunky baby. Okay, here's another problem you may encounter with this outfit, is using too long a leader. That's the distance from the bait to the split shot. And too long a distance affects the lure's freedom of movement, you know, and it won't look quite as natural. This is something you need to experiment with until you find what works best at a given situation. I like it at about, like I said, like at about 14 inches. I personally find that under most situations, a 10 to 18 inch leader works best. Lengthening the leader works at times, but it can also create problems. First, it's much more difficult to cast and control, and secondly, it'll be somewhat harder to detect strikes, especially when strikes are hard to feel. You'll need to concentrate even more watching your line. Often you'll see the line moving 2 to 3 feet to one side, and when this happens, well, I think you know what to do. Fish right there. Coming right at me. Right at the boat. And I mean tugging. Whoa, buddy. Boy, you just got it too, didn't you? Boy, so much fun catching them on this type of equipment. And besides, it's important and it's worth mentioning, is this type of equipment. You're going to do so much better and have so much better success using open face spinning instead of bait casting. By success, I mean casting control. You'll find that by using spinning, you'll have much better control of your cast, plus you'll be able to cast greater distances when needed. What we're using a Speed Freak reel, one of Quantum's 25 series. This is a Speed Freak, and what it does, it takes up 33 inches of line per revolution. Like I said, it's a 25 series smoke, And we've got it on a smoke rod, medium action, 7 foot. It's also a smoke. This whole outfit is well balanced, lightweight, super sensitive, fast action, got a tremendous amount of backbone, extremely sensitive tip, extremely lightweight. And I've got it spooled with 20-pound strand super braid and a section of 20-pound fluorocarbon strand leader on the end of it. It threw my worm off too. Oh, look at that bullet there, boy. Ooh. Barber's hook just came right out. That pretty? Yes, you are. You going home? You ready to go back? Say yes. Look at it. Boom! I'll tell you something else that you'll want to do when you're using open face spinning. One thing I think is real important. You need to select reels that offer long stroke spools. They're much more efficient for longer, smoother casts than narrow spool models. With a narrow model, less line per crank is retrieved and more coils come off the spool during the cast. And what this does, it can severely affect your accuracy and your distance, and also create those dreaded cobwebs and loops and tangles much quicker. Like I said earlier, the other important part of this rig is the hook. My choice for most plastic baits, like the one I'm using today especially, is an offset Gamakatsu 2/0 round bend. Naturally, with thick-bodied lures, you'll have to increase the size of your hook. This sharp hook has a small but strong diameter wire for quick penetrations, and it is extremely sharp. Got a fish? Yeah. Whoa, look here. It's starting to go crazy. Boy, you are one tough dude. Look at that crazy fish. That's why you need a good drag, especially up here close. Looks like I'm written. All right, pull me all the way back in this mess. Now come on up here. I'm gonna tell you what, a fish like you, ow, you bite me one more time. Boy, I got my worm. Look at that little potted job. that fish gave me a good fight. Now I'm gonna tell you, yes you did. You got a special little job right there. Look at that little potted thing. Yes, you did, buddy. Whew, let me tell you, this rig and technique is far more versatile than you can ever imagine. And its ability to catch bass is absolutely remarkable. Its use isn't confined to certain waters either. It'll catch fish everywhere. So, when the impossible bite occurs, try it and see if you don't agree. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Now I've gone fishing